Hello, everyone. We're going to take a moment today to look at when should you press pause or when can you press pause. And we should know that pressing pause is the first step, the first discipline when it comes to making an above the line response. So we're focusing on that R for E plus R equals O because the response or the R is what we have complete control over. So since we have complete control, we want to give the best response that we can. First step is we have to press pause. So what we're going to do as a demonstration is we're going to pretend. We're going to pretend we have an event. In fact, our event is a surprise test. So you have to picture yourself walking into the classroom, and as soon as you walk in, it says it on the smart board really big, surprise test today. You didn't even know it was coming. Okay, so that is the event. Whenever we have a surprise test, or probably any test, our outcome is we want to get the best possible grade. So we have to figure out what it is we have to do to respond, what it is you can do to respond to try and get that outcome of getting a good grade. So I'm going to shift my screen here and I'm going to pull up our E plus R equals O, and we look at our event is the surprise test. Remember, we have zero control over that. That has happened. Our outcome is we want to get a good grade on the test, which we have good influence over that depending on how we respond. So then those are some possible responses we can give. So when can you press pause to work on these responses? Well, first, you can press pause before the event ever happens. Before you ever even have a surprise test, you can start to plan in your head what is it you would do if you had a surprise test. And you could start running through and say, well, I would have to take a deep breath and relax because a lot of times when something like this comes up as a surprise, you may feel a little anxious or worried or even a little scared. So you want to have something that you can do to calm you down right away. So before that event, you're already telling yourself, I'm going to take a deep breath and relax. I'm going to have to carefully listen to directions. I'm going to have good self talk and tell myself that I can do well. And then I will take my time on the test and then double check my answers. Get all that in your head before the test. Ever even happens, before that event ever even happens, you will be so much more prepared for when it does happen. Another time that you can press pause is you can press pause right before you respond or right after the event happens. And a lot of times, I think this is the most common pause that people have. So you walk into the classroom, didn't know what was happening, and you see surprise test. Boom, press pause. Give yourself a chance to stop and think, and then that way you can start going through those responses of taking a deep breath, carefully listening, good self talk, and taking your time. Okay. The other time you can press pause is after the outcome is all over. Okay. So at the very end, and you reflect back on what happens or think back to what just happened. And maybe your outcome was you did get a good grade on the test. So you think back to and say, well, what responses did I give to get a good grade on the test so that way the next time you have a surprise test come up, you know what you're supposed to do. Or maybe your outcome was you didn't get a very good grade on the test. So you would think back and say, well, how did I respond? What responses did I give? And then that got me a poor outcome or the outcome I didn't want. So that way you can make adjustments and do something different the next time. So you can pause before the event, prepare yourself, pause before you respond, give yourself a moment to stop and think, or after the outcome, which is reflecting and looking back at exactly what happened. So that way, the next time you're in a same situation, you'll know what to do. So remember, pressing pause gives you a chance to give the best above the line choice that you can. And it also gives you a chance to make a disciplined response. So it's not just your emotions making the choices for you. So make sure you press pause and work hard on giving those good responses.